You know what they say about assuming. You're going to make an ass out of you and me, right? I hate that I'm making this video. What's going on, guys? Sean here, coming at y'all with another video. As I said once already, and I will say again, I hate that I'm making this video. We're going to talk about Nick Sirianni, we're going to talk about Jalen Hurts, we're going to talk about the comments that have been made, and we're going to talk about the Philly media. We're going to talk about the people that are stirring all this shit up. But before we do, and now that I've cussed in the first 60 seconds of my video so nobody will watch this, please like, please subscribe, comment down below if you haven't already. And tell me what you think about all of this. Tell me what you think about all this noise. The stuff between Jalen Hurts and Sirianni. Is it real? Is it fake? And tell me what you think about what I think after I get done ranting, however long that takes. Getting right into things, not really wasting any time. Everybody at this point knows what happened. Jalen was asked a nothing question, and he gave a nothing answer. There's two ways you answer that question. Either you kiss Nick Sirianni's ass, or you don't. And you just avoid it, because it's a stupid question. And it doesn't need an answer, The thing that kind of bubbles, kind of gets me up here, and really, really aggravates me about this. And the reason why I haven't want to talk about it is because if you listen to every Philly media member that was there and their take on it, all of them say the same thing. Well, this could probably be nothing, but, and that's the story. But, it's not what was said. It's not what was done. The story is, but, ... It's just, it's not surprising. It's really not, because, the Philly media is really, really good at destroying nice things. We cannot have nice things in Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni has had an unbelievable run, and this is directly after Doug Peterson had an unbelievable run and won us our first championship. Nick has done nothing but win since he's been here. And, year one, you've seen he gave up play calling. Why? Because he sucked at it. Because he's a hype man. He's not an OC who calls plays. He's not an OC who's going to strategize to win games. He's a hype man. He is here to hype up the team, to build chemistry, camaraderie, develop. That's why he's here. That's what he does. That's what he has done since day one. And everybody loved him year one. Everybody loved him year two. The cockiness, all the bullshit. Everybody loved it. Now you don't love it anymore. Because we went on a skid. Because he hired the wrong coordinators. He did the same thing that Doug Peterson did. And everybody wants to run him out of town just as fast. Because you think, oh, well, the next coach will take us to another Super Bowl in 2 years. How many times do you think we can get this lucky as a franchise? I mean, to have two head coaches back-to-back in their second year take a team to the Super Bowl. It's just unbelievable. And then both of them followed it up with a pretty fucking mediocre season. Oh, Alshon dropped it. We were going to the Super Bowl. We looked like shit that year. Yeah, we thought we were going to win it all because we had just won it all. But we looked awful the year after the Super Bowl. All I remember from that year is being in Tampa for that, second game, I think it was, and Deshaun Jackson catching a 50, 60-yard touchdown over our head. I'm rambling. Guys, we've been through all this before. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I see people on YouTube, people I respect and I love, and they're weighing in, and everybody's saying the same thing, that it's bullshit. But somehow we're still divided on it. Where's this Nick Sirianni hate coming from? Let Nick do what Nick does. Now, I will take this one step further. Something that people really aren't talking about. You have to understand, from everybody in the organization, someone's getting fired after this season if we don't go to the NFC Championship and put up a fight. And it'll be Nick or it'll be Jalen. There is an out in Jalen's contract after this year where we could get out of that money just like we did with Carson Wentz and we could start over again. And we've got a great roster to where it would be pretty easy to get another quarterback in here and remain successful. We don't need Nick, and we don't need Jalen long term. Now, understand, I mean long term is in 20, 30 years down the road, because Howie's not thinking about right now, this 1 year. He's thinking about that, and he's thinking about 10 years down the road, because he's the one who's not going anywhere. It's the dynamic that people never seem to understand on this team. So from Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni's standpoint, they're protecting themselves while trying to protect each other. They're not going to say too much. They're not going to say too little. Nobody hates anybody, because if they did, Nick Sirianni would have been fired last year. There's a reason he's still here, and it's not just the win percentage. Somebody in the building, either above him or below him, as in on the roster, wanted him around, and that's why he's around. You know, Jalen Hurts' comments are nothing. This whole thing is nothing. They both have one more year, because yes, there were times last year when Jalen Hurts was less than spectacular. He cost us the game against the Jets. He played like shit against the Commanders, I believe it was one of the two times. You know, he was not perfect, but he was still really fucking good, and he's still the quarterback that I want to run my team. And you know what? Nick didn't handle everything perfect last year. I think he should have grabbed this team by the balls around week 15, 16, and he should have said, you know fucking what? This is my team. This is what we're going to do, and do what's worked. You know, we had running backs on the team that never got used. You know, Penny, you can't tell me Penny wasn't healthy all year. You know, we had guys that were just so underutilized and so underused, and Nick is not a stupid coach. He knew what was wrong. He just didn't want to step on toes because of the relationship with the general manager and the owner and the way things are really run on this team. He feels like he can't. That was the time for him to do it. He didn't do it, so now he has to bank on Jalen. He's putting everything in Jalen's lap, and, you know, he brought in the best coordinator and the best O coordinator and the best D coordinator that he could in his eyes to make sure he doesn't get fired. The only thing that cost Nick Sirianni his job this year, if Jalen Hurts performs well and the team performs well, is if he loses the team. And then I think the team goes to Kellen Moore, and that scares the shit out of me. Because, yeah, I love X's and O's guys, but what happens when the X's and O's don't match on the field to what they do in the locker room? And then you have a coach who can't control that locker room, and everything goes to shit. And you can't keep anybody in Philadelphia for more than 5-6 years because you're going through coaches, and, you know, nobody wants to stay and deal with the bullshit. You know, you have to pick your poison with the coaches. There are very few coaches in the NFL that are, you know, developers, that are team builders, that are motivators, that can do it all. You know, the guys that can get in there and really do everything. You know, it's a rare thing in the NFL, so you have to pick your poison. We are putting ourselves in a spot every year where we need great offensive minds at the coordinator position, great play callers, and we needed a vet D coordinator who would take control and keep control. That's what we've done. There's nothing wrong with this team. There's no turmoil behind the scenes because everybody understands what they have to do this year. Everybody understands that Howie Roseman is not afraid to blow it up. Nobody thought that we were going to trade Carson Wentz away. Nobody thought that we were going to be able to blow everything up as quickly as we did, and we did. And we flipped it, and we moved on faster than anybody could believe. And people still can't believe it. People still can't believe that we somehow got out of a huge quarterback contract, a quarterback who looked like a shell of himself, who's no longer even, the Kansas City backup. Like, he's never going to see time in the league again. You know, and it's the Howie show. You know, it's always been the Howie show. So, you know, that's just my 2 cents. You know, I think Nick and Jalen are just fine. You know, I think they balance each other out great. I'm sorry, but look at any room of friends that you have or that, you know, you spend time around. You look around these groups of people and you don't just see, you know, loud people hanging out with loud people all the time and quiet with quiet all the time. No, you see people mix it up because that's what they do. You've got a loud person in every group. You've got a quiet person in every group. Like, just because they're opposites doesn't mean that they don't like each other. I mean, you have to think about it this way. You know, Jalen had to hate Doug. All Doug did was make him look awful. All Nick has done since he's been here is try and make Jalen look great. Try and make him a superstar. Allowing him to throw the ball 30, 40 times a game when you know it's not a good idea. I mean, Nick has done everything for Jalen. The tush push is all about Jalen. The touchdown totals are all about Jalen. Make sure his total touchdowns are high. That way he looks good. You know, it just, he has done everything for Jalen. I think we all need to settle down, enjoy an off season where the team is deep. You know, I mean, outside of a pass rusher, I really couldn't ask for much more. Enjoy it. Settle down. Simmer down. And let's hope the Philly media stops this shit soon, because it's gotten so out of hand. You know, A.J. Brown got paid. Who are we going to start on next? Jalen Hurts, man. That answer, you know, that was really, really light. You know, he didn't say much about Nick. Stop it. All right, guys, I love y'all. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you're a superstar. Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.